So 2 years ago I bought myself my first ever Husqvarna 4-stroke enduro bike, the FE350 from 2022. The bike now has 69 hours on the clock, so let's go through what I like about it, what I don't like about it, and who is this bike really for.
In May 2021, Husqvarna announced their all-new 2022 Enduro range, which consists of 7 different bikes. This time, they've swapped out the old Magura parts for Bractec clutch and brake systems. With a combination of GSK brake discs, they promise for better control and stopping power. They've made some small tweaks to the suspension too, nothing major, just to smooth out the ride a bit. In Europe, the bikes are now equipped with Michelin Enduro tires, replacing the renowned Metzeler 6-days ones.
Okay, let's start with the good things. The engine is by far the best thing that this thing has. It's super easy to ride, super fun to ride engine, and with a full tank of gasoline you can ride for hours and hours. The frame feels natural to me. I'm a tall rider, but I really get a good grip from the bike because the frame is quite narrow on the center. The wheels are really strong and sturdy, and the tires that this bike came with, the Michelin Enduro tires, I really like them. They're all around Enduro racing tires, so they don't last that long, but the grip is amazing. So overall, I have been really happy with this bike. There are only some small things that I would change or I didn't like that much. And first of all is the handlebar. The stock handlebar is quite high, so it's harder to get traction to the front wheel. And then the seat cover, the original seat cover, is super slippery when it gets wet, so it's hard to keep your balance or weight on the center of the bike. You need to squeeze with your legs really hard and with your hands from the handlebar. So that makes arm pump, for example. So the stock suspension is quite soft, and there's so much motion that the bike goes from side to side easily, and because it's soft from the start of the stroke, it's easy to hit your foot pegs and your engine cases to rocks or any other obstacles that you might have come across. Also the composite subframe or plastic subframe, that is a question mark for me because you get scratches here quite easily, and it's quite thin right from the mounting point. I have seen a lot of fractured ones already, and these aren't that cheap to buy, so if you are into wheelies or stuff like that, I don't know if a plastic subframe is the best friend of yours. The last really small thing is the rear brake light switch connector that gets full of dirt and moisture.
That right there is one of the worst design features that this bike has. I've put on a small shrink tube just to protect the molex from getting all the dirt and stuff from the rear wheel.
And after that you have a constant brake light right here, so it's not that convenient thing in an inspection before a race, for example. So let's go to the maintenance part. Somebody might find it not so interesting, but I think it's something that I need to really highlight. This is a modern 4-stroke, which means the basic maintenance is changing your oil filter, your inline fuel filter and air filter, tightening the screws, the bolts, and putting a loop to your chain. That's basically the frame of your maintenance job. Addition to that, because it's a Husqvarna, there's the linkage system, which has like 7 bearings or so, and you need to keep them lubed as well as possible, because that way you ensure that your suspension is working correctly and you get most of your bike. Other than that, the basic maintenance or the maintenance job is quite easy on these low hours. Here's the full list of all the maintenances that I've done to this bike and how much it has cost to do so. That way you get a rough estimate how much it is to fix or keep your bike in good shape. Oh, and get yourself a good book where you document all the things that you do to your bike. So yeah, conclusion. Who is this bike really for? I think it's for somebody that has already done some years of riding enduro, maybe does the traditional enduro as a main thing, and then does some motocross, some hard enduro track visits every now and then. As a beginner, I wouldn't go with the 350, I would go with like a 250 4-stroke or 200 2-stroke because of the lighter feel that those bikes give.
So the Proctec clutch and brake system has been working really well. I haven't had any issues with this. The clutch pull is easy and I can easily use it with one finger only. And the braking power, both front and rear brake, is decent, and I couldn't tell a big difference compared to a Magura or Brembo one.
Yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.